Fam, we in here again. We in here. We in the building. What's up, Don't Be Useless, fam? This is episode 39 of the Don't Be Useless podcast. And y'all, I am so glad to be here. I'm glad to be here for a couple reasons. One, your girl has had a week. Okay, I have had a week and I am grateful to have the opportunity to do something special this week, which I'm going to tell you guys about. But today we're talking, we're going to take the race conversation to a little bit of a different perspective. Guys, this podcast is designed to help you deliver on your vision for your life. Where do you want to see yourself going? Where is it that you are looking to make moves and level up? It's also here to help you build your confidence in whatever area it is. Where do you want to build your confidence? Where do you want to go? Okay. How do you want to build your confidence, let's say at home, at work, and just in general about your self-esteem or your self-awareness? So deliver on your vision, build your confidence, and help you to use your God-given gifts. And so there are some things that I have planned that I'm really looking forward to finally releasing that can help us to walk out that true vision for our life. So today, our conversation definitely is going to lead more into the race conversation, but I want to hear from you guys. I see you guys rolling in. I'm about to do my shout outs, but I want to know, do you feel right about your race? You have a lot of different experiences of your own. And a lot of times all of us feel right about our own people, but I'm going to challenge you. And are you actually right about your own people or not? Or is there such a thing? So I think this will be a really good conversation. Before I do that, I want to give another shout out because I saw her roll into the live Facebook feed, and we're also live on YouTube. Our winner of the June giveaway, which I still have right here, her Swarovski wallet, but Ashley was the winner for June. Hey, Ashley, I see you here on the podcast. Congratulations. The way you sign up for that is you go to itsPriscillaB.com and you sign up for my email list. And I pull a name every single month. Blindly, I pull a name, and whoever name I pull, that's who wins, and that's what it be. Okay. All right. So, hey to all my A's. All my A's are the Alicias, the Ashleys, the Andreas that are faithfully, and the Angies that are faithfully on here every week. Hey, who has my heart? She's up in Dallas. Hey, Ken, love you. Some of my Atlanta folks. And I have some folks on YouTube. And until you say something on YouTube, I'm not going to know you're there. So all my A's. You see that? My A1s. Y'all be ones. Yes. Oh, actually, no pressure. No pressure. I will make sure you get your prize as soon as you can. We're going to meet up at church and I'm going to give her that. Okay. I need to know what y'all been up to. It's been a week since we've been together. What has been popping in your social media world? What has been popping in your life? For me, this past week, I talked to my mom early this week, and my mom's telling me about her health. Now, my mom is a little faith warrior prayer person, so she ain't told nobody, y'all, nobody what's going on with her. And I talked to her, she's like, yeah, I was in the ER the other day. What? You in the emergency room the other day? She's like, yeah, they're going to have to run tests on my heart, and they check me for COVID. And I'm like, Mom, you don't have COVID. She's like, I know I don't. They got to check. Okay. So I'm like, hey, fam, this is what I love about my husband. We will hop in this car and go see whoever we need to see. So we go up and see my mom. So we are in Oklahoma, and you guys know Oklahoma. Some of their history has to do with race riots and the booming Black Wall Street that existed there some time ago. Some of you guys may not know, I used to be Miss Black Tulsa. I actually won a city pageant there, and I represented that city in different spaces as a young adult. I was like 20 years old. But I do have a place in my heart for that city too. But yeah, so we're just hanging out in Tulsa this past week, hanging out with my mom. My brother's been doing some great project work with his music, so he was doing a lot of shooting and stuff. So it was a really good time. But today, can I say this? When this podcast is over, let me tell y'all what I'm going to be doing. When this podcast is over, I am going on a momcation. A momcation. I don't know if that's a word. I made it up. Okay. Oh, you see that? Everyone who's watching live, do you see that fingernail that's off? That is showing you the state of my exhaustion. Okay. This fingernail represents the state of my exhaustion. I am going on a momcation. What does that mean? I am taking 4 days off. 4 days off for me may look different than 4 days off for you. If you were given 4 days off paid right now, what would you do in those 4 days? Sound off. You were given 4 days now. If you're a mom, it's 4 days without the kids. Maybe you want to pick up your girlfriend and hang out, whatever. 4 days off, what would you do? I'm gonna tell y'all what I have planned. I might come across like a nerd, so let me hear what y'all would do. You have 4 days. How would you live it out? Would you go somewhere? Would you stay home and kick everybody out? What would you do with those 4 days? For 2 of my days, I am going to be without anybody. 2 whole days at least. Just shut it down. I am out of here for 2 days. Let me go to you guys' comments and collect this. All right, so let's see here. So Andrea says, I'm blown away that I didn't know the massacre even happened in Tulsa. Oh, yeah. Big history in Tulsa. I actually was in a parade as Miss Black Tulsa long ago that went through that part of the city. And that was my first time actually being there, where Black Wall Street was. But yeah, it was a thriving. I mean, Black people were getting so rich. It was amazing. And then, yep, huge massacre. It was burned to the ground. It was a slaughter. Tina says, I'm sure it is much needed. Thanks. Andrea says, nothing. I would do nothing if I had 4 days off. What is your nothing? I have a show that I'm going to try to binge watch, but I got to be guarding my little spirit. I can't take in everything, y'all. But it is a very popular show, and I'm going to try to watch it, but I'm a fast forwarder. If people clothes start dropping, I can't. That's me. I cannot. Okay? I know where I've come from. Candace says, my heart is hurting with what is going on and the struggle I am going through in my personal life. Candace, I hear you. And I hope by the end of this podcast, you are encouraged. And I hope that you see some hope and some light. That is one of the primary goals of the podcast, in addition to helping you move forward in life in every way that God has called you to. Absolutely. Hey, Brandon. Tina says, if she had 4 days off, because that's what we're sounding off on, Tina said she would go to the beach and then she would go shopping. Then she'd get her nails plus her hair done. She would go straight pampering. Tina, I am with you, because when I get done talking to y'all, I'm hopping on Instagram to show you guys my journey. I think I'm going to vlog this momcation too, because I think everybody does it differently, right? Everybody can do it a little bit differently. I am going to get this nail done. Remember, this broken nail represents the state of my exhaustion, right? Get my nails done. I'm going to get a pedicure. Y'all, I'm trying to get a massage. You know, they just reopened this week. And my Miss Uma is my massage lady, and I miss her so. All right. Ashley said I would sleep. Oh, yes. Y'all, these 2 days, I'm about to lock myself in this hotel room. I already got my wipes. I'm about to wipe it down. Don't you worry. I ain't catching Rona. I'm wiping it down. I got my mask ready. Y'all, I am ready. But I was nervous that when I get to the room today that I'm going to sleep in the daytime and be up at night. Y'all pray for me, because I don't want to jack it up, come back with bad habits. Okay, Candace says 4 days, spa days, and a trip to Lake Austin. Ooh, Candace, Lake Austin, that sounds amazing. Alicia says she would go to the beach and just read all day. How glorious. I am bringing a book with me called Atomic Habits. I definitely plan on diving into that so I can bring back some goodies for us, right? I want to bring back some goodies. I also purchased a ticket to a virtual conference about 2 weekends ago from Kev on Stage. You know, they put on a virtual conference for creators, and I bought the ticket, have not got a chance to go yet. So they sent me a link to watch the conference. So I plan on watching it, taking notes, growing and learning, looking over my website, just praying and reevaluating, you know, am I in the right place in terms of my messaging, my branding, all of those things. Like, for me, guys, this is the nerd in me. I want a moment to just check out and check in with myself. That is the goal for me over these next couple of days. Absolutely love reading and would relax me. Yes. Hey, Nicia, love you too. Angie says self-pampering and spa days, some serious R&R. Andrea said no laundry, no cleaning, no cooking, turning my mom brain off. Those words right there just hit it, y'all. I am about to turn my mom brain off. Hey, Nieves. She says she loves massages. She's on YouTube. Yes, me too. But you got to find the right person. One time I went to a different person because my Miss Uma was out, and that lady was rough. She had her knees on my butt, and she was rotating back and forth and had my towel coming down or my cover. I was like, look, excuse me. lady, I need you to come down. I didn't tell her. I wanted to, y'all. Okay. I need my bottom covered. Look, if I come get a massage and my panties still on and you done tuck the cover in the top of them, because they massage you. That's how it works. I need you to keep the cover up. That means I don't want you to see nothing. Okay. Because my drawers is still on or I'm on my period. Ease up. Okay. Okay, Miss, what was the lady name? Ashley, I don't know. My God, I said. And then she said sleep for sure. I'm totally going to sleep. And I'm going to be bringing my favorite herbal relaxant. It is not weed, I promise. Your girl don't smoke. I've never had weed before. But there is a legal relaxant, and it's herbal, and it's called L-theanine. And when I take one, your body already produces this, but it is a major relaxant. So for me, I can take one, and when I wake up, I feel like a brand new person. Like I really slept. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm not gonna be far from home, honestly. So if I forget it, look, somebody bring that to me. Yes, you need Miss Uma. Yes, Andrea, I can tell you Miss Uma's information. She is everything. I do plan on taking a trip to the beauty store. Even if I'm just going to walk around, I want to see what the new, what they have, what their new products are. I want to see what they got going on. I know a lot of people haven't been dropping like new products and stuff, but just something to feel pretty. I brought me a pretty skirt. Don't plan on putting on makeup. Candace said, what is it? What is what? I said L-theanine. That's the name of it, if that's what you're referring to. All right. So we're about to transition. I want to talk to you guys about disagreements. This is how we're going to transition into this. Are you right about your race? Because I think for a lot of us, we have had times when we disagree with somebody else, of course. But let's think about from a celebrity or a news or social media perspective, outside of the race riots and all the things happening now, the protests that are happening now, what has been the most public disagreements you can remember? Now, let me tell you the first one that came to me. The biggest public disagreement I can remember was Biggie and Tupac. Okay? Biggie and Tupac was one of the first public disagreements I had ever seen. Okay? It felt larger than life for myself when I was a young person. Public disagreements. The second one for me was everyone's opinion on O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson. My grandmother, rest her soul. My uncle came in the house. He's telling me, my mom, this story years ago. And he says that he came in the house to check on my grandma. So he comes in, Big Mama, because in my family, grandma's name, we called her Big Mama. Okay. I called her grandma. I called her Big Mama though. Big Mama. And she's like, yeah, did you hear what's happening? Michael Jordan done killed his wife. Did you hear about that? And he's like, Mom, don't you mean O.J. Simpson? And she's like, oh. Now, meanwhile, the TV is running and she could turn and see, but grandmas be grandmas and we'll have all kinds of rumors spreading and hidden all over the place, right? So no. So these were some of the biggest public brawls I've ever seen. Do y'all remember any? Do any stand out to you? that you remember. Okay. Now, after Facebook and Twitter came out, Twitter became the platform for a bunch of disagreements. Chrissy Teigen done went toe to toe with quite a few people, and she's hilarious. Her humor is hilarious. But she has come, man. It's been some back and forth in our time. All right, I have a comment here. So she says, Alicia says, right, and we lost two great lyricists in Biggie and Tupac because of it. Laugh out loud. I have a different opinion about OJ, so I don't usually get into a discussion about that. What's your different opinion, Alicia? Because to me, I think he did it. We're talking about public disagreements, brawls right now that we've seen played out in the media. Oh, yes, I do think OJ did it. Do I have any proof? I don't care his finger couldn't fit that glove. I don't care. Maybe he realized it couldn't fit when he was in the middle of the crime and threw it to the ground. I don't know. Maybe he didn't test it out in advance. Okay. But if you ask me, Lord help OJ. Okay. Do I want him to burn? No, I don't want him to burn because I think there's a balance to that. But y'all, to me, oh, I don't care. I don't care what color his skin is. I think OJ did it. Look. Okay. Oh, you think he was set up, Alicia? I can see that too. I can see. Y'all know this is a safe space. You can have a completely different perspective. You're not going to get chewed up and spit out. All right. So, I was talking to, oh yes, OJ did it. We're about to have a whole separate conversation about whether or not OJ did it or not. I'm telling you. Okay, so I noticed that in the different circles that I've been a part of, I've had different messages still sent to me about everything playing out in the media. You guys know most recently, Rayshard Brooks in Atlanta was shot multiple times in the back. What I'm about to say today may not be as popular, I would say, within my own race, being a Black American, but I do have some things that I want to say that I think maybe can bring some balance. Guys, I think sometimes it's dangerous to pick a side. Here's what I mean. Jesus was, by him living in his life and conducting himself as he did, there was a big line drawn in society at that time between him, the Pharisees, and the Sadducees, right? So Jesus wasn't trying to cause division. At the same time, Jesus stood for truth. And he stood for truth in God's way, right? Does that mean he never got mad? Yeah, he got mad. He was mad at the disciples half the time. He like, look, if idiot wasn't been back then, idiot would be in the Bible because Jesus would have been like, idiot. Okay, there were times Jesus was like, you're dumb. Okay, he didn't say you were dumb. He would just be checking them disciples, y'all. Jesus wasn't playing with people. And he wasn't just some weak, soft-haired dude. Jesus was a boss. They tried to throw Jesus in a riot, tried to throw Jesus off the side of a cliff. Jesus, the Bible said he just maneuvered, okay? He just slid on through there. Why? Because Jesus was a boss. But Jesus stood for truth. He didn't just stand with one race. He didn't just stand with whatever the church people say, Sadducees, Pharisees, all that. Jesus stood for God's truth. I think there's something to say for that. Because I feel like right now in today's time that there are people that are trying to get us to pick a side. But I believe when we are dealing with just everyday stuff, going all the way left or all the way right could be very, very dangerous. Here's why. God is my truth. I'm a believer. You guys know this. I love Jesus Christ. And I don't think I would have come out of inner city, Memphis, Tennessee, violent neighborhoods to be able to go actually get into college, go to college, come win pageants and work for Google and Amazon and all the things I've accomplished. And then now being in a pastor position, which I ran away from for so long, low key, God helped me to fully accept it now because I just want to be able to make a difference. And it doesn't matter what the title or avenue is of that. But there's no way that a person like me should have made it anywhere. So my allegiance first, as I mentioned last week, is to Jesus Christ first. God made me. He created me. I'm not going to come into this earth and then just identify with my skin color only, or identify with myself being a corporate professional, or identify with something he's blessed me with and have that replace the creator of my life. I won't do it. But I think a lot of times it's so easy to get distracted by a movement or a moment to where we find ourselves feeling like we need to pick a side. I see the hearts coming up on Facebook. Do y'all hear me? My encouragement to you is try not to pick a side. Here's what I mean. You guys know my husband's white. I have biracial kids. For me, I am still all the way myself. I am a Black girl with hood tendencies. At the same time, I have a classiness about me too. I'm weird. I don't know. It's just what it is. And I embrace who I am because it's who I am. And I'm not going to let anything or anybody tell me I'm not enough of anything, even though I know I'm not perfect and I am committed to pursuing God's best for my life. I am committed to him and what he wants to see from me. But I am not going to, again, pull something that I've accomplished or done, and that is now my identity. The Bible says that I should be living, moving, and having my being through Jesus Christ. So that means it's bigger than my skin color. That means it's bigger than a movement. Should I stand for righteousness and justice? Absolutely. In today's climate, I absolutely have actively supported the movement of Black lives being equal to all others. I've been shocked. I don't know about y'all. I have been shocked at all the countries that have joined in the movement of Black lives also should be equal. I've heard interviews and different conversations of dark-skinned people. They may have been African or some other nationality in other countries saying like, in this country, us Black people here or dark-skinned people here are discriminated the same way George Floyd was in America. I have been shocked to see that this is a global thing. I didn't know. I haven't been all over the world. So I recognize that there is some major injustices. But when I go back to the truth teller, when I go back to the word of God that was left for me to live my life, I see Jesus say over and over, all people of every background should be together. All of you guys should start coming together as one. I see Jesus talk about the Good Samaritan, a person of a different race, a different ethnicity was the Good Samaritan, that he helped the person who was down and out because he was hurt and struggling. I see Jesus being that difference. I see Jesus going to hang out with the prostitutes, the outcasts. I see Jesus going to hang out with taxpayers who were ridiculed by their own people as working for the man. Y'all know Uncle Tom, if it was so back in those days, that's what it would have been. They were ridiculed by their own people. They're like, how dare you be a tax collector? Jesus went to all those people. So I definitely believe that we should always advocate for each other. We should advocate for the outcast. We should, and that includes gays, homosexual, all the LTQs, I don't know, y'all, all the letters. They should feel acceptance and love from God's kid. I do not care who they are choosing to sleep with. There should be love from us because we are called to bring people together. And the prayer is that when we bring them together, then we are now able to be stronger and God's love is able to be seen and change hearts. I am not here to make a racist non-racist. I'm not. I am here to speak truth. Let God use me to speak truth. And then from there, let God soften the heart of that individual. So when I talk about, okay, Candace, I know she's put all lives matter. All lives do matter. And at the same time, Candace, I'm all down for Black Lives Matter. Okay. So I think I'm pretty sure you're on the same page with that too. So I do believe that peaceful protests, I love it. I love seeing people I know I respect so much. You don't see a lot of parents with little kids out there, but and rightfully so. But I love seeing the movement. I love seeing us buy black. I did as well. Like I just had some stuff come in. Actually, I'm wearing it. You know, Minted is a black-owned company. Got some stuff from them. But anyway, I love seeing us support the growth of Black society. I do feel like there is still systemic racism and systemic injustice. I believe that. I do. At the same time, I am not going to wage a war on just one particular item or this or that and lose sight of God's truth. God died to set me free. I will not allow myself to come into bondage of a movement. I hope y'all hear my heart here. What I'm saying, stand for justice, stand for right. Do not get swept away by it. Stand for justice. Stand for righteousness. Do not get swept away by it. I'm going to go even deeper. The Rayshard situation in Atlanta where he's gunned in the back 3 times. That's right, Carrie. We're here for the Ministry of Reconciliation. Y'all, I want you to tell me, have you heard about what happened to Rayshard? Have you heard about what happened? If you could, sound off in the comments. I want to see if you heard about it before I go into this. Yes, Nieves, I see that comment. So true. Yeah. So in the Rayshard situation, he was gunned in the back 3 times, and I have started by a police officer, a white police officer in the Atlanta area. I have seen, I think his name was Rayshard Bronner, but I have seen, say his name, Rayshard. I've seen that circulate heavy. Okay. Today I did an interview with an Atlanta area police officer. He is a best friend to my husband in times when we were both single. He was in our wedding. Haven't talked to him and his wife in a while, but I got a chance to catch up with them today. But I interviewed him specifically about this situation. He is a Christian also before he is just a police officer. Really honorable dude. He shed some perspective that I think some Black Americans may not want to hear today. And one of the things he said is, he said, and I'm going to air this. I'm going to play this interview. I'm going to post it on my channel and everything this week. So you'll see it on YouTube. You'll see it everywhere. But one of the things he said is, I watched all hour and 20 something minutes of the video of that situation. He says society has seen a couple minutes. They've seen one action. They've seen the gunning down. He literally in this interview, y'all, he walked me through where things went south and why. He walked me through where the law started and stopped for the police officer. I was educated today. Okay. But something he said, and he's a Black guy, Black Atlanta police officer. He said, Priscilla, he said, I want the Black community, especially, I want everybody, but the Black community especially, to keep that same energy, not just when a white officer guns down a Black officer, but when we gun down each other. He said it. He was like, because Priscilla, I'm going into houses where kids are being molested. He said there was a guy I went to high school with, and he killed his 3-year-old and his grandmother last week. He was like, and no one's outraged. There are no protests. He's like, there's nothing. And I'm seeing so much in all communities, he said, not just Black, in all communities. I'm seeing people treat people horribly. So he said, I need my people to keep the same energy, no matter the injustice. Injustice is injustice. He was like, and this guy needs to be locked up. And so for him, he's like, I see, corruption in all different skin colors, he said. He was like, I see too many white cops advocate and fight for Black communities. He said, but then I see clips of bad cops representing all cops, And now we're being attacked. He was like, I went to someone's house. Y'all, this was a good interview. He was like, I went to someone's house the other day because we were called for this domestic, it got too loud in their house and someone called and said, you need to come calm down these neighbors or whatever. So him and his partner show up to this house. They get to the house and this guy is, we don't want you here. We don't want you here. And what Jerome said, this Atlanta police officer said to me today in the interview, is he said, now I know what he's been consuming on TV is fueling his emotions and fueling his thoughts right now. He was like, I know it is. And he was like, he said, I looked at the guy and I had to tell him, don't let what you've been watching on TV get you in trouble. Don't let it get, and this is what I pose to us today. All the things that we've been seeing out in the media, please stay grounded. Please don't get swept away. Stand for right. Stand for Black lives. Stand for justice. Don't let it take you out. Don't let it make you step outside of your character and start disrespecting other humans. I'm trying to remember this statement he said in this interview today. But he said, I can't do it. I'm gonna have to air the interview. But it was something to the effect of, don't start acting unjustly, fighting for justice. Don't start acting unjustly, fighting for justice. It was something like that. He said it better. He dropped some real good nuggets. And I'm sitting here like, I agree. But some of us feel very right about our race. Okay? Some of us feel very right about our race. We feel like our race can do no wrong. This is one of those times where if someone in our community, is gunned down, we own it. And we should defend a person who is mistreated, just like Jesus did. All day, we come in for the aid of that person. But do we bring that same energy into all other spaces? Here's an example. If you're at church, and let's say your church is predominantly Black, and a white person or a white family comes into that sanctuary, are you a person that will show yourself friendly to them because you want to advocate for diversity in that moment? You want to show up as, I want you here. Or does your heart position take the place of, we don't want you here? Let's be honest for a moment. Where does our heart go? If we are walking through the store now and we see white folks, I'm telling you myself, I've had to check myself where I'm just like, I see an old white guy and I immediately assume, oh, he racist. Let me stay over here. Let me walk over here by the meats, since he over there, by the by the cereal. I don't know. Let me get on from over here because he probably racist. And I've had to check myself. I've had to check myself in this climate right now, knowing that everyone has somewhat picked a side. Guys, I find myself having to shake myself all too often and say, God, I pick your side. I pick your side. And God's side doesn't just have a color, guys. God's side is not just a color. You think God Almighty, a spirit being, is limited to a race or a division or no. God stands for truth himself. The great I am does. And I want to be on his side. At the same time, again, see, there's balance. And I'm going to go back and forth, teeter-totter here, because there's balance. We never want to get so far left and so far right to where you cannot see. You cannot see. So there's a scripture in the word that says, how can two walk together unless they be agreed? I want to ask this question to my live audience. What do we want, especially to my Black listeners? What do you want to see happen right now? What do we want to see change? It sounds like a basic question, but I want you to, it's not a trick question. What is it that you want to see? As we stand for righteousness, I stand with you as I'm supporting Black businesses and doing all the things and educating different folks of different backgrounds around me. I know what I want to see. I know what I want to see change. What do you want to see? What would be the end goal for you where you would be like, okay, we in here. We're doing something. This is happening. The world is becoming a better place. What is it that you would want to see in this world? Now, as you guys comment on that, I want to say, because there's a bit of a delay online, but I do want to say with the Rayshard Brooks situation, don't be mad at me. I love y'all. But I saw a man who legit was asleep in a drive-through. The restaurant called the police, and everybody was trying to wake this dude up, and it took forever to get him awake. They finally got him to pull over to a parking lot, pull over to a parking spot. Y'all, the guy was talking crazy. He was like, oh, somebody dropped me off. And they asked him, where are you? Oh, I'm in this city. They're like, no, sir, you're not in this city. Sir, you didn't get dropped off. Here's your car. You were just in the, oh, this is good. I love that. Hey, Jessica. Yes. But he was not coherent, definitely drunk. Well, when they go to arrest, and it was civil for a long time. This is an hour and a half or so situation. Y'all, when they went to arrest him, he tased the cop, y'all. Like, he fought them and tried to run away from arrest. I'm not saying he should have got shot 3 times, but what? Are we not gonna at least admit that the dude was out of order? Like, they had civil conversation with him for a long time. Like, y'all. And this is what I mean by going one way or the other. Like, are we just going to ignore all of our transgressions so we can just defend the fact that he should not have been gunned? No, he shouldn't have been gunned down. No. At the same time, guess what? The law protects that cop in that situation because he was attacked back. Y'all, do not get swept away. Don't go left or go right. We want justice. We want change. Thank you for the comments. I'm going to get to them in just a moment of what you want to see happen differently. But guys, let's not allow ourselves to get blinded one way or the other to where we can't see God's truth and what God wants. So I'm seeing these comments here. Yep, and I see a like for one of them. So Jessica says she wants to see police training reform. Absolutely, Jessica. Something that I think needs to happen when it comes to police training reform is I want to see a heavier emphasis on diversity. Now, here's what I mean. I think it's one thing. Oh, no. Based on this interview I did with this Atlanta police officer today, a former friend of ours, I asked him this same question. What could be different? How can we help? What does it look like on your side? And something he reminded me of is that the laws are different in every city or town. He was like, they're not all the same laws. So what they have in Minneapolis, he was like, we don't have all those same things here in Atlanta. He was like, he also said that there are certain laws in certain areas that do protect the cops more than it defends the people, right? That's something I gathered from what he said. And so he was sharing that the cop or the police force typically reflects the demographic of the community. So if you're in Iowa and the police force is all white, how are you going to diversify it? The community is white. So if there are any Black people in that community and there are so few of them, chances are there's no Black cops. But at the same time, what I thought of is whether there are or are not, there still needs to be some type of socialization with different races. So that way we can learn to understand people. Something that also was shared in this interview is he said, you treat people like humans. Everybody deserves respect. Everybody deserves respect, he said. And something that also was shared in this interview, I'm just telling y'all all the goods. Y'all have to watch it though. As he said, there's some cops who've been on the force so long that their heart has gotten hard. They're callous. They can't quit because they need the money and they're coming up on retirement. But they have developed biases and their hearts are callous towards other people. And he said other fellow cops know it. He said right now there's at least 2 guys he knows on his police force who he's like, I can't prove they're racist, but I know that they have bad attitudes and that translates when they're dealing with people. That's what he told me. And so because of that, I'm like, look, how about we get some training and some type of different relief once you hit year 10 in the force? Once you've hit year 15, what program do we have to make sure these people's hearts don't go cold towards a certain type of community? Whether it's a sit down educational training, whether it's a partner rotation, whether it's something, what can happen to make sure people don't go cold? Candace said, I want to see more training to disarm suspects versus shooting to kill. Reevaluation of city funding. Candace, I agree with you. I would love to see more disarming than shooting to kill, especially for if you pull them over for a nonviolent thing. If they're a suspect for a nonviolent thing, please don't shoot them. Well, come on. Unarmed people should not be getting shot. Andrea says, yeah, he did fight them and took the taser. Y'all, Ray Shard was scrapping because he didn't want to go to jail, y'all. And then, we got to be honest. Andrea says, I wish they would have let him call someone to pick him up and said his sister, as he said, his sister lived down the street. Something that I've heard in the cop space too is that if they let him go and he ends up driving and there's an accident and it's reported that he had interaction with the cop shortly before that, that cop is in big trouble. The cop is in big trouble. That's what that city, and definitely in the Atlanta area, it's a rule that they have. Okay. Andrea says, and he said they were planning his daughter's birthday. That's a bummer. My God. Alicia says, it's simple. Respect. Simply respect African Americans, she says. I just believe people simply do not respect African Americans. So I want to see us respected, and I hope other things will follow. I agree. I have felt so disrespected in different spaces, circles, at work, in the street, in my car. I have seen myself get disrespected, and I have believed in many cases, it has to do with the race that I am, because we are on the same level. We're both peers, the same level, right? We both have achieved the same things or whatever. There's no reason that you should be viewing me as less than you. And then part of it too is when you're a woman, you're Black and you're a woman, whole nother thing. Shout out to the Black women listening. Whole other thing. Ashley says there needs to be change within the entire community. As Black people, we have to be transparent with ourselves first. We expect the cops not to kill us, but we kill each other. We break down each other and insult each other. It shouldn't take George Floyd for us to unite. We also have to educate our Black men as well. Know your rights and do not put yourself in any situation that can lead to an arrest. We have to be united always, not just when tragedies strike. I agree. I think in the Black community, we could do better to support each other. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like there's a huge divide in the Black community between educated and non-educated. And I'm not talking about just school knowledge. I'm talking about educated because you can be Black, did not go to college, but you are a reader. You love reading and learning. And you can, it's in some ways can parallel a college degree depending on how long you've done that. And so I feel like there's a divide in undereducated communities, socioeconomic Black communities that's, they're struggling. There's just a social economic variance there and from the rest of Black America. So I feel like there's a big divide, even on my timeline, between educated versus non-educated. And I think that's interesting. But when you say, Candace, knowing your rights, that's education. That's getting educated. I see all these hearts on each other's comments. I love it, guys. You guys are support for each other. I love my DBU fam. Angie says, I want to see more police community interaction. Yes. Communication and understanding between both parties is needed. Something that was shared on this interview I had earlier with this Atlanta police officer. He said, what we're seeing is a disparage, is no relationship. You're seeing cops who don't have relationships with their community. So they start treating those communities poorly and only are there when a crime happens or if someone is called because of a crime. He was like, there is no relationship. And so what has to be repaired, he said, is relationship. I know here in Round Rock, where I am, the relationship our cops have with our communities is real. We have some good cops here. Look, we said this in church Sunday, and everybody was like, yes, we know we're blessed living here. We know we are. We have a Black police chief who is God unashamed. He is God-fearing, unashamed. And it makes a difference because he has a moral compass bigger than his training and the laws he has to abide by. And that's what you want. So to your point, Angie, about police community interaction, I believe the church has the biggest role to play in that. When the church invites cops in, when the church invites cops to their events, that is one of the best places for them to start socializing with their community. Even though it's under the guise of faith, they are still being with us. If you notice at our church, we invite the cops every time we do anything, because we don't ever want just because they're called into a certain neighborhood for crime, maybe, hopefully they're not overly policing it, which we've talked about in the past. But if they're called to a neighborhood for a particular crime, what we don't want is we don't want them to just keep assuming that only people of that race are criminals. And y'all know that can happen. And we don't want that to happen, right? We want them to also know the good people of that same neighborhood or area. I was one of those families. We're good, law-abiding, church-going family in a violent neighborhood. If they would have bust up in our house and started shooting, we were good people. Do you see that? All one neighborhood is not the same. Anyway, Angie finished up by saying communication and understanding between both parties is needed. Agreed, Angie. Tina says, happens all the time in the office. Totally. We get discriminated against, or someone feels like we're not as smart or not going to catch on, or can't lead people because we're Black. Been there. Williamson wasn't always like the way it is now. She's talking about a county. Andrea says, but I believe he has made all the difference, and it starts with leadership. It definitely starts with leadership, guys. 100%. It starts with leadership. It's a very, very important thing. So when I saw the news conference with the police chief of New York and him going off like that, I was like, whoa, buddy. Whoa. It just sounded so us versus them, which means your community relationships are not good. When it's us versus them, come on. Okay. So today's overall topic is simply around us being challenged regarding our particular race or the movements and things that we've signed up for. There's no 100% right on any of this. That's the part that's tough, because it's like, okay, well, if I stand for this, does that mean I'm all for everything else this race or movement does? It may not. And I want you to give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to agree with an item or a thing without agreeing with all of the thing. Here's my final example. Black Lives Matter has been a debate and a conversation recently because Black Lives Matter is a hashtag and a movement, yes. But Black Lives Matter also happens to be an organization. The Black Lives Matter organization, their statement of beliefs is much larger than Black lives. It talks about life, meaning abortion or not. It talks about all different types of sexualities. It talks about a lot of things. So the organization Black Lives Matter may not fully match that of a person of Christian faith. At the same time, for other reasons. At the same time, the Black Lives Matter hashtag is something different. And I think when people are holding up signs, Black Lives Matter and the hashtag all through the street, I don't think all those people are saying, I support the organization. Most of us haven't seen their statement of beliefs. I want to know from you guys, as a bit of a wrap up, did you know that? Did you know there was an actual Black Lives Matter organization? Have you ever seen their statement of beliefs? There's a local pastor here who lost some people from their congregation because he's white, he posted Black Lives Matter, and they took it as, oh, you're supporting the organization and their beliefs. And he's like, no, I'm supporting the movement of Black lives having equality. And it was a huge thing. So I'm curious from you guys, did you hear about this? Did you know that there is a specific organization that started, I think, in 2013 after the Trayvon Martin situation? There was an organization that started, but the movement was something a little bit separate, a little bit different than just this organization. Most people didn't know this organization was even around. I'm curious if you guys know or have heard of that. Okay, so I will let you guys weigh in while I wrap up on a high note. And the high note is circling back around to my momcation. Okay, you guys know I'm about to take off on my momcation. I love that my boys get to hang out with their dad. Y'all pray for Mariah because she's gonna make sure that she is not forgotten, even though mom is taking a day or two away. But I plan on, here's my laundry list. And my husband says I do this all the time. He'd be like, you write 15,000 things you're trying to get done in this time, and you can't get all those things done. Like you just can't. Here's my laundry list, y'all. I'm like, my laundry list is reading at least 2 chapters of my book, Atomic Habits, journaling, prayer journaling. My list also includes maybe catching up with a friend, binge watching a show, doing my hair. I'm going to be crocheting in a different style because I'm tired of her. Okay, just for a little bit. So I have all of these things, and sleep. Okay, those are my main goals. That is what I'm going for. Is that too much? Is that too much, y'all? Is my momcation agenda too packed? We'll see. Again, I'm gonna vlog it. I'm gonna put it up on my channel next week, likely next week. Okay, so Ashley says, I did not know that. Yes. Oh my gosh, Black Lives Matter, the org is very different than just the movement. Tina says, I didn't know there was an organization or a statement of beliefs until now for the organization of Black Lives Matter, but not for the movement of Black Lives Matter. 2 different things, guys. So I think we definitely have to be careful, definitely be aware of what, on YouTube, she says, I didn't know that either. Absolutely. So I think we have to be careful. This is what I mean by getting swept away by something. Let's just make sure that we're really aware of what we're signing up for. Doesn't mean we can't say Black Lives Matter. They absolutely do. But just know that it could be misunderstood with supporting the organization. So that's something I just wanted to educate you guys on real quick. But that's going to wrap up our time today. I pray that you feel more confident in this whole dialogue around race, right? We're here to build your confidence. You feel more confident, definitely educated on the difference in the Black Lives Matter movement versus the organization. Very important. And then also you really consider or challenge yourself when it comes to being swept away with everything your race does or everything you're supporting. So for example, again, in the Black community, love my people. I don't agree with every statement we take in the media or in public. I do not, because I myself may have a different perspective, and I'm entitled and free to have that too. And then my mother-in-law says, good for you. After everything you've been through this year, you more than deserve a break. Thank you, Mama Jeanette. Yes. I love it. Yes. And shout out to my mother-in-law. I've told you guys before, who marched in civil rights movements, who knew she'd end up having a Black daughter-in-law. But she has definitely been one that in the height of opposition, she has stood for our rights and equality. So I'm really proud to be a part of her family. And married to her son. She raised a good one. So I'm really grateful for that. Hello, my little cousin, Janicia. Okay, let me get out for here. I love you guys dearly. Catch me on Instagram or on this Facebook page where you guys will get to see me actually have the things I'm going to do, the way I'm going to try to relax and just unwind. Because y'all, low key, it's hard for me. I get like right now, I'm on 10. Like inside, I'm on 10. Everywhere, I'm on 10. Oh, here come my son, best friend coming to the door. I guess we about to have friends over here. Okay. So I'm on 10. It takes me a minute to like calm come down. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I love you guys. Definitely can't wait to tell you how my momcation goes. I'll see you guys soon.